Hello everyone, I'm going to show you how to do the Italian cast on or tubular cast on for 1x1 ribbing. This is a long tail cast on, so you'll want to make sure that you measure out about 3 times the length of what you need, and a good way to do that, like if you need 30 stitches, wrap this around your needle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. And that's what about you need for 10 stitches. Then you can just measure that out. So this is 10, 20, 30. I like to start with a slip knot. You'll want the tail end towards you. Grab onto both strands of the yarn with your bottom 3 fingers, take your index and your thumb between those strands and hold it open in this diamond shape. This first cast on is going to be a purl, so we're going to go over the top of the top strand and pick up this bottom strand over the top and pull it through underneath that top strand and up. And this is a purl stitch. You can kind of see the purl bump right there. And then a knit stitch is just the complete opposite. So we'll go around over the top of the bottom strand and pick up the top strand over the top and pull it through and up. And this is a knit stitch. You can see that it is kind of open at the bottom. And we'll just do that over and over. So over the top of the top strand, grab this bottom one, pull it through, and then over the top of the bottom strand, grab this yarn, pull it through. And you do that until you have one less stitch than you need for your project. When you get to that point, when you have one stitch left that you need to cast on, I like to do a backwards loop cast on to make sure that these stitches stay secured and don't fall off when you're moving it around. Just like that. So for doing this in the round, you will want to hold on to your stitches to make sure that they don't slip and slide, or at least minimize the slipping and sliding as you pull your needles through. Now before we start knitting in the round, I'll show you how to read your stitches. So this first one here was our backwards loop cast on. You can knit or purl this if you want. With the way we cast on here, it'll be a knit stitch. So the next one's a purl stitch. And you know that because this one here leans to the right a little bit. And when you look down, it has this kind of purl bump. That's a purl. This next one leans to the left. And when you look underneath this stitch, you can see that there's no purl bump here. And it's kind of just open. And that is a knit stitch. So as you go down, this one leans to the right, has this purl bump. This is a purl. This leans to the left and is open underneath. That's a knit. So if you do bring your needles around to knit in the round and your stitches become all twisted, you can untwist them easily. So this is our slip knot cast on. This is a purl, a knit because it leans to the left and is open. This is a purl, a knit. So our next stitch should be a purl, so there should be a purl bump on the bottom. You can see that there's bumps on the top here. If you move them towards you, it's kind of, they don't really want to go. So push it around the other way. And there it is. There's the purl stitch with the purl bump. Next one's a knit. Leans to the left, looks good. So the next one should be a purl. We'll just do the same thing, kind of move these around, and there's the purl bump. There we go. Purl, knit, purl, knit, and then this was our backwards loop cast on. So now that all of your stitches are in order, we can start knitting. Alrighty. So if we look at our second stitch here, you can see that it's a purl. So I'm going to knit this first stitch. Now, this one is a purl stitch since it leans to the right, and you can see this purl bump right here. The thing you have to keep in mind is that the leading leg is in the back instead of the front, so you need to purl it through the back loop, otherwise your stitches will be twisted. Knit, leading legs in the front, so you can just knit this one as normal. Purl through the back loop, knit, 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 and I'm just going to knit this last stitch. So now that the first row is done, I will do a couple rows and show you what it looks like. So now that we have a couple rows here, you can see what that cast on looks like on the edge here. And it just looks like it's continuous 1x1 rib with a very nice, lovely, reversible border. Let me know if this video helped you, and happy knitting!